Hey, and welcome to Thursday. It is the first of the month. We don't get to do this on the actual first very often, but because it's the first of the month, that means Will is here.
It's the
Will
first of the
is
month.
going through a lot of sickness in the house tonight, so
Oh,
bear with the voice at some points, probably. Either way, Will, thank you for doing this, even though you feel like absolute death.
I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still death adjacent. I've always been the kind of fellow that pushes through when you get the ailments, but this one put me on my ass for several days, and now, of course, it's working its way through the rest of the family.
That's what
So,
happens when you got kids.
yeah. Oh, among my many regrets.
Paul just posted, realized last week I have a book of Will Dodson's on my shelves that I bought years ago secondhand, all about cult film, and it comes with some nice art cards.
I know that book. That's so that movie. It's called Cult Films, and I was a what do you call it? A hired gun, to write that short history of cult films for this British company that described it as like the kind of book that high schoolers and intro to film people would read, and they insisted that it would be sold at like petrol stations, like next to the Maxim magazines and stuff. And that was around the time that was Maxim time, this is like 2006, 07, 08. And I wrote 3 books for this company. I wrote one on Hollywood musicals, in which the editor inserted a typo that turned Tin Pan Alley into Tim Pan Alley. So I'm still pissed about that.
And it could have said Tim Allen. It could have been worse.
Right? And then the third one I wrote on Westerns, they never paid me for. They still owe me like $3,000, but they went bankrupt. And then some accountant did an audit and was like, well, they only owe you $3,000. That's not enough for us to pursue legal matters. So
yikes,
forget about it. And I'm like, $3,000. That's well, but anyway, the Cult Films one I think was the best seller. So that's really cool that somebody's got it. Oh, and Josephine hit on. Now I'm sorry to commandeer the microphone, but Josephine DeMarco hit on the most important news of the week. Happy birthday, Ryan!
Thank you.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm super old compared to you. I'm a ripe old age of 37 now.
In a row?
In a row. That's the only reason you wanted me to say that, and I put it right up on the tee, and I wanted it to be knocked out of the park.
Right over the tonsils. That remains to this day the only Kevin Smith joke that has ever made me laugh.
I don't get that. Either way, I should highlight Dustin says, happy birthday week, Ryan, and big congrats on the TerrorVision news. So excited for you. Yes, we're going to talk about that later tonight. Thank you so much, Dustin, for that little donation. Appreciate everybody. Since we're talking about birthday stuff, I've not told Will about this. I kind of wanted this to be a surprise. I'm going to see if I can make this show up better on screen. My most prized gift, because my wife is incredibly thoughtful, is going up on the wall behind us soon, but I wanted to show it here. She bought, I was going to see if I can, a metal sign for someone's favorite productions.
Oh, it's misspelled though.
Yeah, it's not. Anyways, I'm stoked on that, and awesome. It'll be up on the wall behind us soon.
That is awesome.
We had Craig pointed out that Carrie's off the wall. Yes, swapped that out right before we went live tonight for the They Live poster. But the big thing, the room has been kind of cleaned. I had my first in-person interview this week, and I had to scramble to make this so much easier for somebody to come in here. I had a genuine, like, upper B-list celebrity in my movie room this week. Interview for that will be going up in just a couple weeks. Stoked to see that.
The inventor of concrete.
Yeah, it was a very heavy time. It was interesting. Let's get some pickups. I showed the sign. What else you got coming in this week?
Pickups. Well, my big Vinegar Syndrome box came in, so the subscription and stuff from the sale. Oh, I have to respond to Stan Geezy, who just downloaded the essay, The Demythologizing of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want to highlight that. I didn't write that essay. That essay was written by my late mentor, Jeff Jeske. And I did write the introduction to it. He passed away. That essay had been unpublished, and we got it published in the Monstrum Journal of Horror Studies. And it's a great essay about the Chainsaw remake and what it kind of meant in context with the original. Jeff Jeske was a great guy. So Stan, thanks for downloading. I hope you enjoyed the essay. Onto like my collection. So I've been so one thing. I got a bunch more Warner Archive stuff to highlight. Nice. Big fan of Clarence Brown's Anna Christie. Wait, didn't I show that last time?
Maybe.
Shit. Well, now I'm confused. Along the same lines of artistic quality, our old friend Bruce Campbell in Sean S. Cunningham's Terminal Invasion. Pretty fun movie. Fritz Lang's You and Me, I'm pretty excited about. Did a little upgrade. I have the old Twilight Time of Robert Wise's Audrey Rose, and now I have the Arrow version, which pretty cute. And then this just came in. Everybody who's anybody is a big fan of Dorothy Arzner, so I got her Christopher Strong, which is one of the first starring roles for Audrey Hepburn. And I've been on a Karen Kusama kick lately, and this was kind of inexplicably out of print, but I got a kind of cheap copy off of eBay of Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. Nice. Now that I've done that, I'll go ahead and say you're welcome, because I'm sure a 4K will be announced like in minutes.
Before you share the next one, we got a fun question. Josephine wants to know, do we know of any celebrities, actors, anybody famous that shares our birthdays?
I know one that I share. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Al Pacino.
Nice. I've got we got the Owls. I've got Alan Alda. I always laughed when I was, like 15, 16, because I had boy bands were all celebrating on the same day. I had Nick Carter and Joey Fatone on my birthday.
Oh, rest in peace.
To his brother.
Oh.
Other Carter.
Oh, I meant Joey Fatone. Is he still? I thought he passed away.
Nope, still very much alive.
Okay,
oh,
so the comment was both wrong and tasteless.
Yeah, kind of.
Shoot.
John Stump says he's got Kurt Russell. That's a good one.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good one.
Jennifer Connelly with Dustin. Brian De Palma and Moby for Craig.
Nice. Yeah.
De Palma's a pretty good one. Steve Perry from Journey and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Oh, man. And then, of course, John's got Pamela Anderson. Love that. Nice. Other pickups, I got a trade in. I traded for that new Kino Cult 4K of Clive Barker's Underworld.
Let me know what you think of it, because I saw that on DVD, and it's like a BBC miniseries, so it's not like super high budget or anything. And
I was told that it's awful, and that's why I traded for it. I did not want to pay full price for it.
I mean, it's reasonably entertaining. I just can't understand. Like, it's like making a 4K out of Bloodsucking Freaks. It's like it doesn't look good already.
Bloodsucking Freaks looks pretty good in 4K, though. That's the funny thing.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna.
Next up is a disc that I worked on last year, Thinner, from Stephen King. This is the Scream Factory release. There's not a lot of information about this out there. Shout did not really advertise a new scan. They didn't advertise the special features as good as they should have. So I will say, if you have the previous Olive release, this is a massive step up. That previous Olive release looked pretty poor, and this looks really good. I know that there was some questions about the color timing previously, because there's a couple scenes, like there's a scene in a dark study, and a guy shines a light in his face to reveal the cursed face, and it's supposed to be this dramatic thing, but they've always colored it so bright that it's just like, let's shine a little bit brighter of a light on somebody that you could already see for the rest of the scene, so it's not dramatic at all. They didn't fix any of that, which I didn't expect them to. It's not like they've got somebody sitting here to regrade it that was from the original, the way that they looked at it, at least. Either way, did want to say this looks genuinely great. This should have been a 4K when we were working on this. It sounded like it was going to be a 4K. No idea why it's not. It looks good enough. It probably should have been. And then the extras. They got a new audio commentary on this with Lee Gambin, who is the producer out of Australia that I've worked with a few times, and Aaron Dries is with him. Really great commentary. And then the interviews. I'm a little biased, but they're really great interviews. We got Tom Holland in there, who is he was just celebrating his 80th birthday. He muses on that for a little while. We've got Lucinda Jenny, who is the wife, of course, of Bill Moseley. And she talks about going to cons with him and bringing a piece of the thinner pie, just as a little prop to share with everybody. And then one that I always love is special effects artists. And Vince Guastini is in this. And he was still fairly new when he did Thinner. But for those that have seen this before, this movie has some pretty great effects for its time. This could have looked way worse. And the fact that he was just kind of brought up through other people supporting him, it's a really fun story. Really interesting interview. Hope you check it out. It is a little expensive at Scream Factory. It'll be pricey for a while. Wait to get it on a sale unless you're diehard about the slips, but it's a good disc, I promise.
I feel like they missed a great marketing opportunity or merch opportunity.
Put it in a thin case?
Well, I was going the opposite direction. I would have put, you remember when tennis shoes had the pump it up?
Yeah.
So you can it's got a little plastic layer that you pump up and then it deflates.
Well, speaking of deflating, what Scream Factory did is they deflated and gave us the cheapo eco cases, unfortunately, on a premium collector's edition like Thinner. So
Wow.
Thinner. Yeah, no idea why that happened, but they must be thinning out the budget. Pardon the pun there. And then
they got some good announcements this week, as we'll see. So I don't know. Well, go ahead.
Then the last thing in for review from Imprint is one that this already might be close to one of the most important box sets of the year for those that have not thought about getting this. Sidney Lumet, Volume 1. The stuff in this, I mean, Pawnbroker, The Group, The Deadly Affair, Child's Play, The Offense, Serpico, great discs, lots of special features in there, and then, of course, it's Imprint, so when you take that off, they've got a single case for everything. There's lots of love applied to all of these. You got original art, years on everything. If you don't mind losing the shelf space, these are some of the best in the game. I do admit it does kind of stink to put one of these on the shelf when it's 6 discs and it takes up the space of 9 films. But yeah, this is a legendary release, and you should absolutely keep your eye out for it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good pickup.
You got a bunch of other stuff to share. First, I'm going to tee you up for one. There is a link for a trailer in the description below. Open that up in a new tab, and after the show, go watch that trailer. Will, what's that trailer for?
Madu, a new documentary from Disney about why did you put me on look, I won't go too far into it. My sister is the editor. It is premiering on the first night of the Santa Barbara Film Festival, and I've talked about it before on the channel. It'll be coming to Disney streaming soon. Oh yeah, Stan's met Georgia. Yeah, my sister's a great editor. I say that completely unbiased. In fact, we'll probably mention some of her other editing work some point in the near future. But the movie's great. It's a really impressive film. um, to call it a documentary really doesn't do it justice, because it really pushes the form in interesting ways, and the story is really, really compelling, about a young Nigerian boy whose YouTube video goes viral, or Facebook video, some kind of social media video goes viral of him ballet dancing in the streets, and he eventually wins a scholarship to a British ballet school. And so it kind of follows his life and his family's life. So.
Classic Dodson nepotism, so Silent Mandible.
I hope it'll go the other way. Actually, she's in Hollywood, California.
She's the one with the coattails.
I'm sitting in a rental.
Oh man, a rental that you have to work in the shed.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to pay for putting up that painting.
All right, what else is going on? You've got other stuff you wanted to share.
Oh man, I got some stories to tell you. Last time we were sharing our favorite things that happened in the year.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I talked about was meeting this Starbucks woman in the airport who recognized my full moon hoodie and started talking to me about like deeper cut full moon films. Well, don't you know, I'm not a Starbucks person, but don't you know, I'm about to go home one day. I've had a long day teaching, kind of wiped out, need a little jolt before I hit the interstate. So I pull through a Starbucks drive through, order my large coffee, and I get to pay, and of course I'm wearing my full moon hoodie because that's like the only clothes I have. And the guy hands me my coffee. And he's like, "Oh, full moon, man, cool." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is happening again." And he goes, "Richard Band is amazing." And I was like, "How many times does that happen? Somebody's going to come at you and be like, you know what I really like about full moon movies? The composing." The music, and the music is great. Richard Band's a great composer, did Reanimator and all this other great stuff. And so that's 2 times in a row I've run into a Starbucks person who's been like a full moon super fan, and that's been really nice. I don't know if it's part of Starbucks culture.
It's part of the new employee training to watch full moon movies.
Yeah. So that's a story.
The saga continues with Starbucks and full moon then.
Yeah, that's great.
So we've been working on a ton of stuff. There's a lot that we would love to share. Some stuff we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to give a little more details on one of the releases that got announced tonight. It has been a busy couple weeks, and there's a lot that is coming out in the next couple months. And we've been saying for months, like, hey, we've worked on this many releases, and everybody's like, Spider Labyrinth. That's the only one that's been out since middle of December.
Speaking of Spider Labyrinth, here's a funny story for you.
Anyways, you got just a second. From September to like November, we did a bunch of stuff, and they're all about to get announced. Anyways, go ahead, Will.
Oh yeah, Spider Labyrinth story for you. I saw on Amazon the first review on Amazon.com of the Spider Labyrinth 4K was posted. Have you seen it?
No, even though it has not been released yet on Amazon. That's the best part.
It's a 5-star review. Goes into all the detail. Clearly, the person ordered it from Severin Direct because they had the knowledge. 5-star review talks about the audio, video, visual presentation. Talks about all the great interviews, and then at the end it says the audio commentary track is adequate.
Adequate. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. What a wonderful lengthy review, man. All right, Will, what's next up on your docket?
What do you mean?
You've got like 19 things you want to talk about tonight?
Oh, well, I thought they'd come organically in the conversation. I did have something funny happen on social media. which, as you know, I'm still new to.
Oh,
I feel
I know.
like, you remember that old Saturday Night Live sketch with Phil Hartman, Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer?
Yes.
It's kind of how I feel. But you know, I have a goal of like posting one thing a day on Twitter and Instagram, and I've failed miserably. But I I did post maybe a couple weeks ago when what's the new movie Fun City is putting out?
Handgun.
Handgun, yeah. And I'm really excited about it because Erica Schultz and Chris O'Neill do a commentary, and it's a movie I've been wanting to see for a long time. So I did a little post like, "Oh, this is so great!" You know, I tagged Fun City, I tagged Erica and Chris, and I don't get many likes. Like some people see my tweets. Like if it says like 100 people saw the tweet, I'm like, wow. I've never had more than like 10 or 15 likes. This one gets like 30 some likes. I'm like, wow, I'm really helping Fun City sell units. And then I look at who, just out of curiosity, I'm like, well, who's liking this? Probably some people from the disconnected community. No, it's all Japanese porn stars. And I don't know how that happened. Are they real? Like, are Japanese porn stars like, no, I really want to see Handgun? Or is it bots? Or like, is this film going to be like the best-selling Fun City
in
movie
Japan
in the Japanese porn star circles?
It's all an algorithm. I just really want to know what you were searching for before that.
Well, I want to know what they were searching for. I think, in fact, I think some of their coworkers might wonder what they're searching for as well.
David Lash, just you did to hear something about Japanese porn stars. What did I miss? Everything. All right. Enough of our prelude, as we've been here for 25 minutes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Are we ready?
Aren't we supposed to talk about recent watches?
There's so much to go over. God, yeah. Okay.
Let's just do it. Nobody cares.
I care because we were talking about Severin. I watched that Cemetery Man 4K this week. First time I've seen the movie ever. Never got to see it before. I'd seen a couple clips. It's pretty great. It's a fun movie. The humor really landed with me.
Everything's shitty. The only thing that's not shitty is sleep.
Eli Cortez says, why Shout Studio selling a 4K digital download of Labyrinth? Are they going to release it soon to disc? Not necessarily. They put out a press release recently saying that they got the rights to this and to, I think, Dark Crystal and like 3 or 4 other things. Does not guarantee that they're putting them on disc or anything, but they've got the digital rights.
Mm-hmm.
When recent watches, what else you want to talk about?
Recent one, I have you mentioned how big the imprint box sets are, and it reminded me of a dilemma that I have. I was very excited a few weeks back when Criterion announced the 4K of I Am Cuba.
Oh yeah,
right? That epic documentary. But I have a DVD edition of I Am Cuba that comes in a cigar box, right?
Oh wow,
and that is freaking. It's freaking cool, right?
That is a really cool design.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, this, I can part with it, maybe make some money on eBay, because it's it's shaped real weird and it's hard to do, but and the Criterion has all the same extras except Disc 3, a film about Mikhail Kalatov, the director. This 2-hour documentary that's really great about his whole career. And so what am I gonna do? I gotta keep the damn cigar box.
Can you fit the digipack from Criterion in the cigar box though?
I do not disrupt the integrity of displays.
I get it. Any other recent watches for you?
Yeah, I watched a lot actually.
I was gonna say, 'cause you didn't even mention one.
So here's all the stuff I watched recently. I'll just pick a few. I'll pick a few. So I saw Lady Whirlwind, Angela Mao.
Nice.
Which was fun. Not a great film, but fun. Great extras. The interviews with Angela Mao and her son. 3 commentaries. You have to get to the 3rd commentary before you even get to Sam Deegan. Holy cow. Here's a movie that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I watched just to see if it held up. And by gosh, it does. The Towering Inferno, against all logic, works on every level. Like, you care about the characters, even though they're completely one-dimensional. You buy the special effects, even though they're totally old. And you sit through a 3-hour movie without getting bored once. It's amazing. So I was pretty excited about that one. Then I saw a couple movies that were boring, unfortunately. Maybe I'll skip those. I'll give if you haven't seen Deaf Crocodile's Pied Piper, which somehow I got it late because there's no slip. Right. I got it late off the OCN website before I started buying from Deaf Crocodile Direct, which is what I do now. But I hadn't seen it yet. It was just sitting on a watch pile. I hadn't watched it yet. This shit's a work of staggering and monumental genius.
Yep.
I want listeners to know that even though it sounds like I'm slurring, I'm doing Dry January. I started late. This in my commemorative Joe Bob Briggs glass is water. Yeah, Pied Piper was amazing. Also saw, keeping the Deaf Crocodile thing going, I saw the Tale of Czar Sultan, which was really cool.
Deal.
Really cool. Let's see. One more maybe?
As many as you want, my friend.
Oh, here's a cool one. John Ford movie from Eureka, Two Rode Together. Richard Widmark, and this is the first Jimmy Stewart appearance in John Ford, and he plays an asshole.
Will, are you seeing this? Dustin says,
right.
I have an extra slip of the Pied Piper. I can send it to you if you want.
Well, I'm not gonna say no. That's cool. Thanks. Woody Strode. Even if Woody Strode's in the movie for only a second, I always want to see it. So that one was a lot of fun. Not so fun, but I'm glad I saw it. I never realized, when I worked in a video store in the 90s, I had to put this particular movie away all the time, and I never watched it. Palmetto.
Neo yeah.
One that just came out. Elizabeth Shue, Woody Harrelson. I never realized that Volker Schlondorf directed it. So I was like, oh, and it went on sale and everything. So I picked it up, and it's not very good. It's okay. I think it suffers from the fate that a lot of the neo-noirs suffer from, which is, part of what makes the original noir film so interesting and compelling is the restrictions, the production code. They couldn't show or say anything, and had to get around it with implication and ambiguities. But the neo-noirs just show everything. And in Palmetto, it just didn't work great for me. It was okay. I'm glad I saw it. I'll stop there.
Sandro has a question. Hello, all. Any news on the Coffin Joe set? Do we know if they fixed the air and mailed them out to retailers? If a retailer still has a copy, will Arrow send out the fixed discs? They have not sent out fixed. That's hard to say back to back 4 times. They've not sent out fixed discs to retailers, and they will not send them to retailers until they've repackaged everything. If you do get it from a retailer now, you can try to get that fixed disc by going and applying through their random replacement disc program that they have right now, which I still need to sign up for. I keep forgetting.
Dang it. I just ordered the Coffin Joe set, so it's going to be all messed up.
One of the movies is not going to have special features after the 33rd minute.
It's not going to have special features after
Not special features, captions. Sorry.
Captions.
I have special features on the brain like most of my life.
I need those. I need this. I need the captions. Ah, well.
Yes, as Chris says, the Coffin Joe set is down to $70 on Amazon right now, and yes, they are selling with the faulty disc. If they even have them in stock, I mean, it's Amazon. They could just not send you out anything until they get a fixed one or they cancel your order, because that does happen.
Huh.
Now, are we ready for some announcements?
Did you see anything?
Did I see anything? I watched what I already talked about.
Oh, you already talked about recent watches? I thought you did pickups.
No, I talked about Cemetery Man.
Oh, that was it? And then I didn't
That was it. I don't get time to watch everything because I am doing a lot. Let's talk about some announcements of things that I want to buy and won't be able to watch. First up, April 23rd, Arrow is releasing on Blu-ray the Scarface Mob from 1959, starting a month of a lot of oldies for Arrow. Like, usually they have at least one or two big mainstream things coming out there, but this month is really heavily focused on some older films. This one's coming in the US and Canada, and this was originally conceived as a two-part TV pilot. This is a gritty and thrilling dramatization of Elliot Ness's account of his hunt for ruthless gangster Al Capone. And this is going to have a few things. We got a new visual essay on the film and the career of director Phil Carlson by David Cairns. We've got a brand new video essay on the career of Elliot Ness and his depictions on film, including this film by Philip Kemp. We've got a gallery of original posters, some reversible sleeves, postcards, all that good old Arrow stuff that they always send out. How do you feel about this one, sir?
You know, they only indicted Al Capone once.
Oh, really?
It's a line in a Trump speech. They talk about how he's been indicted 3 times. Only indicted Al Capone once.
Wow.
No, I'm not familiar with this. It looks interesting. I've never heard of
it. Next title, April 30th in the US and Canada, is one that Will is going to wax poetic on. The Tin Star from 1957 from Anthony Mann. This one is going to have a new audio commentary by Toby Rohn and a new appreciation of the film by Neil Sinyard. New interview with Peter Bernstein, the son of Elmer Bernstein, on his father's timeless musical mastery. And then all the standard Arrow postcards and posters and all that fun stuff. Tin Star.
Love this movie. Anthony Mann. You've got Henry Fonda kind of breaking in Anthony Perkins as a young sheriff. And so there's all this, it's an Anthony Mann movie, so it's all this masculinity stuff, and it's great, especially anytime Anthony Perkins is in a movie, he's always kind of playing at the margins of masculine identities already. And this particular film, I think, really deserves to be better known. It's one of the more, I wouldn't say that it's an obscure Western, but when you think of Anthony Mann, Tin Star isn't the one that leaps to mind. So
right.
This is really exciting.
Yeah, this was one that you definitely wanted. The moment it got announced, we were already talking about it. So
yeah,
I'm glad you're here to share about it. Henry Fonda, Anthony Perkins. Yeah, not one I've seen, but one with that cast and with that director. This is on the must list for me. Robert Altman film, That Cold Day in the Park from 1969 is coming on April 8th on Blu-ray in the UK only from Arrow. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting one. This is a 2-disc limited edition, and this is one of those rare times with Arrow where if you don't get the limited edition, you do not get the whole package. So for this one, you'll get 2 discs, but if you get the standard later, you will not get that second disc, which is the newly extended 114-minute version of the film, which is reintegrating previously deleted material from a surviving pre-release print. Which, of course, is going to be a big selling point of this. If you're into Altman and if you're wanting this release, you probably want to get the limited.
Yeah, kind of.
Is this one you've seen before?
No, there was a previous Blu-ray edition. I can't remember whether it was Olive or Twilight Time or maybe not even. So when this was announced, I immediately deleted it from a wish list, and I guess I'm going to go for the limited.
Yeah, they're kind of
Give her a
foisting that
try.
upon you with that disc.
Being foisted.
Speaking of being foisted, April
Hey,
29th on Blu-ray in the UK, we are getting Behind Convent Walls from 1978. And man, did this drum up some really funny comments when I posted this. Oh, geez. Yeah, so this is going to have a new audio commentary by Justine Smith. Anarchic Nuns and the Artistry of Desire, new appreciation by film scholar Virginie Sylvie. A short film by the director, and then illustrated collector's booklet with new writing by Kat Ellinger and original press notes. This is a cool release.
Yeah, I'm finally gonna be able to retire my DVD. Love Borachik, great animator, great visual stylist, and also a perv. So,
so right up your alley, huh?
Right up my alley.
And then Sibner's coming in hot with the puns.
Hey, that's his worst habit.
Oh, that was pretty good. Now for the biggest mainstream title that they're putting out, which is hilarious to say about a film like Basket Case. April 29th in the UK, and then April 30th in the US and Canada, we are getting Basket Case from Frank Henenlotter in 1982 on 4K. Man, this is one of those that I read this announcement and I start thinking, like, the stop motion at the end, how's that gonna look in 4K? How do you feel about this?
Some things aren't meant to be seen in 4K.
Right.
I just don't know. Obviously, anytime Frank Henenlotter gets some attention, I'm happy. Although I wish somebody would put on physical media his latest film, Boiled Angels. But yeah, I don't know. Did you say there's not any new features, right?
No, this is a rehashing of their previous release. So, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Again, I love this movie. I love Henenlotter. This movie is a lot of fun, but it's also grimy. It's supposed to be grimy, and this will be very grainy, no doubt. Nothing wrong with that. But man, again, I've talked on here before. I want all of the films in the highest quality possible, but highest quality that they need and should have. This one almost feels like possibly a step too far. I'm not against you putting it out necessarily, but man, I'm really curious to see how this looks.
You'll get anything on 4K, but you won't get that.
All right, Mr. Loaf, on to the next one. They are doing an Arrow Store exclusive, which I kind of like their other art better. This is some wild art.
Yeah.
Anyways, then we got some release details from Kino Lorber that they are releasing North Dallas 40 on 4K and standalone Blu-ray, both on March 26th. This is porting over all of the stuff that was on the imprint release. So if you never picked that up, this is a great release. Got a lot of really great extras. Daniel Kramer was involved in quite a few of those, getting them together. Primarily, he was on the audio commentary with Daniel Waters, and then Ted Kotcheff, the director, was on there with both of them. This is a solid release. The imprint disc looked pretty good in 4K from Kino. I'm sure this will look even better.
I hate football, and I think it should be banned. But I got a thing for football movies. I like them. And
you think football should be banned?
Oh, yeah.
Because of the concussions or what?
Yeah, and the culture of like toxic violence and the exploitation of various populations, and of course because Taylor Swift is a Democratic plant designed to demasculinize the sport. But the point is, I love football movies, and this is one of the better ones.
That was a weird tirade. Love to hear that right around Super Bowl time of the year too.
I hate football. I hate it. I've always hated it.
I enjoy Taylor Swift. Next one.
I don't like her either. I don't like her music. I don't think it's good.
You don't like good things. That's all right. Coming on March 19th on Blu-ray from Kino is The Soldier's Tale from 1984. This is an Emmy-winning animated classic by the renowned New Yorker illustrator R.O. Bleckman. And man, this came out of nowhere. We got an audio commentary on this by the director, by an animator and an associate producer. There's a short film by the director as well, and then a collection of animated shorts and commercials. This looks like a really fun release. Kind of surprised they're putting it on the Kino Classics line, but yeah, this looks fun. What do you think of this?
Well, if you buy one animated film today, get the tune from Death Crocodile, Bill Plimpton. But if you get two, this might be all right.
Just love it. Ronnie.
I understand that, people like Taylor Swift's music. I don't get the music. I don't understand. Like, it just sounds like everything else to me. I don't know. Anyways,
next up, Kino is releasing Submarine Command from 1951 someday. We got a 2020 HD master by Paramount in this from a 4K scan. William Holden, Nancy Olson film. I've never been a submarine movie person. How about you?
The submarine movies I like are the ones that were made before they could realistically do submarine movies. And so this one will be right up my alley. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh shit, that's right. There's another animated movie from Crocodile to talk about, but that's later. John Farrow, Mia's dad, not a bad director. I've not seen Submarine Command, but with that cast and knowing John Farrow's work, I'm definitely going to see it.
All right. And you can probably get it.
Movies? Is it because of the claustrophobia, or?
I don't know. I mean, I'm tall. It doesn't work for me. Submarines
that's for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be on
there. Next up, this is one that we talked about recently, but now we got some details. Stop Making Sense from A24 is coming on 4K and Blu-ray. This isn't shipping until May. You can pre-order this now. You got bonus songs on this, including Cities, Big Business, Zimbra, 25-minute making of doc, 2023 Dolby Atmos, and 1984 original stereo mixes. The only real problem with this release, did you ever go click and see about buying it from A24?
Nope.
Well, I guess that's the other question. Have you bought anything directly from A24 ever?
No, I've never bought anything direct from them.
Yeah, I can't think of what you may have wanted to buy from them because the stuff you like is not really A24. So this, what's that?
What do they do?
Like Midsummer and Talk to Me and modern stuff. Anyways, if you go to buy this on 4K right now, it comes out to, before shipping and taxes and all that, $58. $58 for some garish. So this is a standard release. It's going to be about this tall.
Does it at least come with lobby cards?
I don't think this one does.
Wow.
Yeah, so this thing is $58 plus tax and shipping. And so I think for most people, it was between $70 and $73 shipped for a 4K release of Stop Making Sense, which is a brilliant release. Nothing against the release itself. The film, if you've never seen it, you'll probably love it. Most people do. It's incredible, but $73 shipped.
Yeah, definitely my favorite Jonathan Demme. For sure. $73, that's a lot for a movie.
$73.
Yeah.
Ragnar says, speaking of waiting for things, Mondo, we're still waiting for a Halloween order. Yes, it is shipping starting in 3.5 days. I think we can wait 3.5 more days, Ragnar. Next up, Kino Lorber announced No Way Out is coming on 4K soon. This is the 1987 film with Kevin Costner and Gene Hackman and Will Patton and all them. A bunch of people just bought this on Blu-ray from the UK. And now Kino, of course, releasing this on 4K.
You're going to get taken off YouTube for having that nipple.
Thankfully, it's a male-presenting nipple, so I'm allowed to show that and only that and just stare at it on stream for the next 6 hours, and they will not stop me. Isn't that weird?
Some serious nip hair Kevin Costner's got.
Right? And yet I had to censor a cover today.
Yeah, that amount of nip hair, you feel like she's about to cough up a hairball.
Oh man, Kevin Costner.
I've never seen this movie, so I have nothing else to say.
Is this the first time Kevin Costner's nipple has been on the cover of a Blu-ray? I'm not sure.
Given the era, I'm surprised his ass isn't on
it. Next up, Shout Factory had some announcements, and the first, April 9th on Blu-ray, is the 1998, I don't even know what to call this thing, Lost in Space. I was going to say underseen film, but man, do you like Lost in Space? I don't want to shit all over it if you've seen this and love it.
It's not good.
No, this is not a good movie.
I don't think I've ever met anybody who thought it was good.
I don't get it. And not to mention, I'm really kind of weirded out about this, that this is this is a Scream Factory release. That's one thing.
Well, yeah, it's not that. But there was in the late 90s, there was like a deluge of television adaptation movies that were just lazy and shitty. And I can't remember why. There must have been one good one that started it all. But
not this one. New 2K scan of the Inner Positive for this. 2K scan of a film from 1998 and coming on Blu-ray. Audio commentary, a couple audio commentaries, which, wow. You've got new interviews with the director, producer, Stephen Hopkins, and the writer-producer. It's also kind of odd that this is a collector's edition of under Scream Factory, too. Like, anyways, this is odd. Super odd.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the right sub-label for it. But yeah, this came out around the same time as like the Avengers movie, or like the British TV show Avengers movie,
yep.
And Wild Wild West and Bewitched and things like that.
Oh God, and Bewitched was like a decade later. It was already past the weird.
Oh wait, that wasn't a remake of the TV show, was it? That was a remake of the movie Bewitched. Well, it doesn't matter.
Either way. Weird time. Anyways, next up, oh God. April 9th, Shout is releasing on Blu-ray Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey in a standard release. That it's the exact same disc that was already in their steelbook that they put out last year from Walmart. That they never announced. That's the funny part. They never even announced they were releasing that steelbook. It's been out for months, and now they released this, which this has already been out on 4K from multiple other labels. What?
I just realized Mission Impossible 1996.
Oh, hello.
That must have been one of the ones that started it off. Anyway, okay, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah.
I'm sure you're dying to see this.
I have not seen it. I'm not particularly interested in seeing it. I love the concept. That's funny. But I doubt they pulled it off. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I'm kind of eager to see it. I'm into the cheap slasher sometimes, but something about this just off.
I wouldn't be against seeing it, but I'm not going to blind buy it.
No, especially not for a Scream Factory price.
Oh, The Saint! I saw that in the theater. Yeah. Shit, everything got remade. Oh, hey, I want to see this. This is exciting.
April
Also,
16th on Blu-ray, finally getting a shout factor. Well, not finally shout, but finally getting a good release, hopefully, of Affliction from Paul Schrader. This is coming as part of the Shout Select line. This is the 1997 film with really odd cover art, I gotta say.
that is strange. Because I remember the box art on VHS was like Coburn's face just big on the box, and I thought that was a good cover. This is like, what is that? That's
Beyond that, no new features except bonus features for the Blu-ray, a new 2K scan from original film elements. Again, that's not a bonus feature.
yeah. I mean, you want to have that, but that should just be the feature.
Right. So if you've never seen it, Nick Nolte, James Coburn, Sissy Spacek, Willem Dafoe, Paul Schrader, back in 1997. Paul Schrader. This is a big one. A lot of people have been after this.
Yeah, they've been afflicted.
Humboldt Horror says, came in late. I'm not a Swiftie or a Submarine person. Still like you guys, though.
Oh, great. Well, yeah.
Oh, man. 2K scan from the IP equals bonus feature, and Craig is smiling. Yeah, that's perfect. Anyways, that's Schrader. Next up is they partnered with G-Kids again for a release of Blue Giant coming on April 16th. This is going to have a Q&A with Hiromi on this, and then a trailer. Never seen it. Again, not super into anime. Don't know a lot about it. Then, probably the one that got people most excited. They are releasing Rolling Thunder on 4K under Shout Select. This is coming on April 23rd. And this one, different than the last film that we just looked at, does say extras in progress and will be announced at a later date. However, that doesn't mean they're actually going to add anything. It could just be the same old thing that was on the last Blu-ray they did, and they're just not letting us know for some reason. Rolling Thunder. What do you think of this one?
I like Rolling Thunder. Schrader kind of disowned it because they made him put like a pseudo happy ending on there, and he wanted it to go out more Taxi Driver-ish. Don't know that I need to upgrade, but I'm not against it, depending on how different the picture is going to look. But I really enjoy it. Great lines. Tommy Lee Jones is awesome in this movie, as is William Devane. So if you've never seen it or don't own it, this is probably the way to go, I would assume.
I would hope so. And I guess that's it for Shout Factory. I did want to say there was a leak that they were supposed to do The Faculty in 4K in April. Nothing has shown up for that. That was showing up at some retailers, but either the release was pulled or it's been delayed another month or something. But it's not up on their website, not up anywhere else other than the retailers that it had leaked at. Not sure what's coming. Just a heads up, if you were about to buy a release of The Faculty, you might want to wait a couple months. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Chris says, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but this is the most underwhelming month ever from Shout Scream. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's funny because I just said like an hour or two ago
that it's a pretty good month.
It was a pretty good month. And then when you actually showed the announcements, I was like, wow, I guess I was really excited about Affliction.
Yeah, this is not a huge month for them. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Earlier this week, I put up an interview with writer and director Joe Lynch, who just released Suitable Flesh, which is essentially a love letter to Stuart Gordon and everything Lovecraft. It is a wonderful movie. Everybody should check it out. But while you're at it, check out the interview. It's a really fun one. Joe Lynch went to some really vulnerable places that he doesn't go to in a lot of interviews, and really, really surprised me that he was able to speak so candidly.
Oh, this guy's great. He made hands down the best Wrong Turn movie.
Yes,
which is the second one with Henry Rollins as the host of a survivalist game show Two Turn is awesome.
Yeah, he's got a decent filmography. I mean, Mayhem was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Everly, and then everything that he's done acting wise as well. He's always pretty great.
First Row was a Trauma movie. It was in Terra Firma, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
April 9th, RLJE and Shudder are releasing It's a Wonderful Knife, which is It's a Wonderful Life, but mixed with Scream, essentially. I didn't check this one out last year, but I've heard it's decent for people that are into like cheesy horror holiday films.
I wanted to watch this. I always have like 10 Christmas horror movies I want to watch, and then December passes, and I'm like, well, I can't watch it now.
Yeah.
But that's not true. I need to watch it, but I didn't.
Yeah. You can pre-order this now, already up on Amazon. Next, March 11th on Blu-ray in the UK from Studio Canal is Room at the Top from 1959. I kind of wanted to point out, gorgeous cover art on this compared to some of the other releases that we've talked about tonight. All it takes is just a little bit of attention to detail and finding the right artist, and you can make something much more appealing. This really sells this Lawrence Harvey film. We've got new special features on this. Delana Kidd on Room at the Top, and then a bunch of old stuff, including 2 audio commentaries. I, however, have not seen this one. Is this one that you're familiar with?
Only by title. So I'm excited about this. It's always listed with the, new British cinema, the kitchen sink films, working class stuff. So I'm into it.
I'm glad. Yeah, a lot of people seem excited about this one too. Next up, Donnie Yen in Polar Rescue from Wellgo USA, coming on March 26th. And I tend to laugh at a lot of the ones when Wellgo's announcing these, but everything I've read is that this movie is actually really rad, and the trailer looks pretty damn good. It's Donnie Yen in snow. I mean, that's pretty exciting right there already.
That is cool, but I have to say, this cover art.
It's awful.
This looks 100% like an early 2000s Joe Minorski movie.
Yep.
Starring Costas Mandalore.
It really does. Oh, yeah. This one is just the worst Photoshop.
That's cool, though. I mean, I'm a sucker for snow movies, too. Told you last month I saw, what was it, Wind River, and it wasn't very good, but it was very snowy. I love snow movies.
I love Wind River.
I'm even going to check that one snow movie with the lady from Underworld in it, even though all the reviews say it's bad.
Which one is that?
Whiteout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simner says this looks like that one background actor that got lost on the way to the Fast 8 set. Looks like Sly's cliffhanger was snow. Ronnie says, is Donnie okay there? Oh, man. A cover Liam Neeson was bored to be photoshopped onto.
Oh, I've got to watch one of his, the Ice Truck movie. Everybody's got
yeah. More Wellgo. March 12th, they're releasing 1% Warrior from last year. And this is another one supposed to be really great, actually. This one says a legendary aging action film star is drawn into the real world of violence when feuding Yakuza gangs infiltrate the set of his latest feature. Caught in the middle of a chaotic battle and increasing body count, will his martial arts training be enough to save him? This is supposed to be good. Looks pretty fun. Again, cover looks awful.
So it's got elements of JCVD, but without the psychologizing. That's good. I like
that. Oh, man. Next up, a company that we don't hear from a whole lot, with one of the most interesting sounding releases in quite some time. April 16th, Flicker Alley is releasing Against the Storm, Herbert Klein in a Darkened Europe. This is a double feature. We got 2 films in here. The first one is Crisis, a film of the Nazi way. And this one says, Herbert Klein made his breakthrough documentary as the storm clouds of impending war gathered over Europe in 1938. Narrated by illustrious American actor Leif Erikson, the film, which captures with evocative camera work and ominous clarity the lead up to the Nazi occupation of Czechoslovakia, was shot at great risk to Klein and his crew. Klein, a Jew born in Chicago, raised in Iowa, was in his late 20s when he began filming in the Sudeten region bordering Germany and took on the task of not only passing as a Nazi sympathizer in order to complete the project, but also smuggling the footage out of the Prague airport past Gestapo guards. The result is one of the first anti-Hitler documentaries ever made.
Wow.
Harrowing. I mean, that's a really, really great release.
Yeah. Man, I always feel like when I'm confronted with actual heroes, I'm reminded what a coward I am. This will be great to check out for sure.
What's crazy, that wasn't enough for him. The second one on this is called Lights Out in Europe. And this says, in 1940, just 1 year after filming the invasion of Czechoslovakia by Hitler's forces, Herbert Klein and his team traveled to Warsaw and England to pursue and document the feared Nazi invasion of Poland. Narrated by actor Frederick March, the surviving recordings of these events would serve as evidence of the outbreak of the Second World War, bringing about one of the first completed and distributed documentaries on one of the most destructive international conflicts in history. We've got a commentary on both of these films. We've also got a short film. We've got a newsreel. We've got an image gallery, souvenir booklet with a new essay detailing the film's production and distribution by Thomas Doherty. This looks like a must-have release for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I do want to warn people, Flickr Alley can be a little expensive, but they are really worth it. Their quality is top-notch. For example, they put out The Man Who Laughs a couple years ago, and it was just an astonishing release from them. Definitely suggest checking it out. Every so often these go on sale, but their on sale price is usually like $28. So even then it's a little on the pricey side, but these are good people worth supporting. And with the release like this is an important one. Next up, March 26th, Cape Light and MPI are teaming up in the U.S. to release a 4K media book of The Roundup, No Way Out from 2023. This is the Don Lee film. And what's interesting, this has already had a Blu-ray release in the States, and this is now just a 4K upgrade of a film from 2023 that already had a media book, already had a Blu-ray, and now it's a 4K media book in the U.S., and they still have not put this out in the UK at all. So, yeah. Don Lee's a cool dude, though. He's fun.
Oh, yeah. He owned Train to Busan, that's for sure.
He was incredible in that.
Yeah.
Next up, April 9th, Neon and Decal are working together to put out Origin from 2023. This is the newest Ava DuVernay film. For anybody that's not seen it, highly recommend this movie. It seems to be slightly divisive. It's a pretty great movie, I thought. I think Anjanu Ellis-Taylor was great in this. John Bernthal was pretty good in this. Not a lot of not a lot of time to develop some chemistry between the couple, unfortunately. But this is a really great movie. I really hope people check this out. And for some reason, did not get marketed all too well.
Yeah, I've got a couple dates on my calendar circled because it's coming to a theater nearby and playing like 5 or 6 showings. So I'll probably pick it up as well.
Sibner says, keep Decal away from this. And for those that don't know, some of the Decal stuff has been pretty iffy lately. Not great with encoding and all that. So, Decal can be a little bit rough. And yes, Mom, we did watch this one together. The first trailer was terrible, says Sibner. They should have started with the second trailer. Well, not only that, like there's just no marketing. They're not really sharing that the film is out there pushing it at all. Yeah, it's a great movie though. Check it out. Coming on February 27th on Blu-ray from Lionsgate in what is most likely a DVD case, The Night They Came Home, the film that is a Western with the most ever Photoshopped Danny Trejo you will ever see, with a Halloween
like Edward James almost.
Right? This is so awkward. So awkward. And it, again, what is with Lionsgate and DVD plus Blu-ray case?
Well, yeah, I imagine the target audience for this is the kind of people who would get history books written by Bill O'Reilly. This is a movie for that guy. This is a movie for somebody who sees that top line there is like, oh man, Brian Austin Green, my favorite rapper. And the first rapper to date Megan Fox, to marry Megan Fox.
Oh man.
I remember when I found out Megan Fox had a thing for white rappers, and I began rapping. But I gave up pretty quickly.
Oh man. Let's see.
Brian Austin Green, easily the edgiest part of Beverly Hills 90210. Like if you're watching Beverly Hills 90210 and you're like, which one of these guys is from the streets? Brian Austin Green brings that gravitas.
Let's put him in a Western. All right, next is this is a different sort of announcement to go over. The TerrorVision home video podcast is back. This had been on hiatus for quite some time. I think the last episode was in October, and that was really only to cover the announcements that they did in October. And the reason this is on here to talk about it is because I'm now producing the podcast. I'm the one that's going to be hosting this with Brad all the time. We're going to be putting as much as we can into sharing details on the titles coming out, the process of putting these out, all the extras on the discs, any questions that people have, lots going into the podcast. And then further, the other side of that is the bottom half of this is that I am actually working with TerrorVision as a producer now. I'm for the last couple months, I've been helping produce some of their discs, interviewing talent, tracking people down, helping, check on copy and artwork and all that fun stuff. It's been a really interesting time. But I really got to say there is a lot of some crazy stuff coming from TerrorVision this year. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear about it, because it's going to blow some minds. People have some very, very specific feelings about TerrorVision as a whole, because a lot of their first year was just, SOV, low budget horror. It's not going to be the case for much longer. There's some really interesting titles coming from TerrorVision that are going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
This is you're on the cusp of something big, and I tell you, you're gonna have some stories when it comes to behind the scenes shit. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. I love that somehow we've been kind of able to keep this under wraps for a couple months just to make sure that it was going to work out and be okay for everybody. But it's been decent. Like during our busiest time so far producing extras, I was doing a lot of shit for TerrorVision at the same time, and we were all kind of stressed out, but somehow most of it has come together. It's been really interesting, and some of these next round of announcements is gonna make some people pretty happy, I think.
I remember when you told me the news that this was happening. I was in the middle of teaching a class, but you knew that I was teaching a class, so I was like, this must be an emergency. So I'm like, yeah, here, kids, watch a video, and I step out. Because I thought it was about something that we were working on in some kind of like heart attack deadline issue or
right
or something. like, hey, I need to talk to you ASAP. And then you're like, my dream has come true. And I'm like, good for you, man.
That is not how it went. First off, let's share that it was asking you for permission.
You weren't asking me permission. You were talking like a little girl. You're going, my dreams have come true. Brad is my Prince Charming.
I really hope Brad is watching this right now.
No, it was great, man. I was so happy for you. And then I went back and taught the fucking class. Back to the drudgery.
Well, to drop, a little more, I know people were excited to have that episode come out. Literally just came out yesterday. We're already gearing up for the next episode. So it's not going to be some long hiatus. We are recording very soon. And I'm going to do my best to time the release every single time. Right when we announce stuff, we're going to be putting out podcast, video and audio podcast same day. I want people to have that kind of context and really want people to hear, what's going into these releases. Because if you've watched this channel for the last couple of years, that's what I love. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what makes these labels make their choices, why releases 4K versus Blu-ray, the cost that goes into some of these things. I'm going to pry some of that information out of Brad as much as I can. Some of the logistics behind the scenes, why things are delayed. We're going to do our best.
So just chill to the next episode.
Coming soon, promise.
Yeah, a little Snoopy Dogg there.
Grindhouse Video, they were gone for a little bit of time. I think it was almost a full month. They shut down their physical store and revamped the way that they were doing things for inventory and everything. They are back open. It's been back open for a few days. They've got a different sale going on, a clearance sale. So their buy two, get one free sale is currently discontinued, but it'll be back eventually. Their shipping policy's been changed ever so slightly. They're announcing an event called Counting to 10 soon, so watch out for that. And then if you go look real closely through their site, a lot of stuff that was out of print, you should be able to find at least a couple releases in there that were, available and not exactly retail, but definitely not eBay secondhand prices either. You can get it for about the middle of those two numbers.
Happy to see them. But I was happy to see their weekly live stream come back too. What's the guy's name that runs Grindhouse?
Mike Sandler.
I love his live stream because every time the first 10 minutes is how like every single thing he did got screwed up. And what he had to go through to fix it, or all the inventory was deleted, or a truck crashed into a lake and sank, or it's always such a saga. He seems like a cool guy.
Spaghetti says, I think the open conversation on that podcast really brings good flavoring to everything, creates some good buy-in for the titles with the casual conversation of all. Exactly what we were aiming for.
Yeah,
exactly.
Next up, I haven't watched it yet. I've been busy.
Shelf Shock Rewind voting ended last night, and so this is the moment to really hammer home that live on February 18th on this channel and on the Shelf Shock Rewind YouTube channel, on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, we are going to be doing everything we can to get as many eyes on this, because 2023 was a wild year for releases. I don't have the full list of winners yet, but I peeked at a couple, and there's a couple that are genuinely surprising for me even. So I'm very curious to see what everybody thinks about these. We're going to do our absolute best to get a lot of people, accepting awards, having people from the labels come on and talk about the release, even just for a couple minutes. Really try to get people involved, buy in, do some giveaways during the stream and everything. It's going to be a great time, hosted by me and Celeste de la Cabra, and get as many people as we all love just involved. That's the big thing. Get the community behind something really great. And I will say, we almost doubled our vote count from last year, which is really exciting. We ended up just shy of doubling it, but man, we got really close.
Okay. I was going to ask, and then part of me was like, well, what if it didn't go well?
It went pretty great. I'm not disappointed in the least bit. last year was a really good first run, but yeah, this year we definitely have more people showing up, and I'm just excited to see everybody celebrating the good year that we had together.
Well, this is going to be on my kid's 17th birthday, so I don't know. I might come. I might watch.
They can wait. They can wait till the next day. Next up is OCN announcements.
Oh, here we go.
Got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Is this it? Are we almost done?
I kind of. There's a lot of stuff. First up, one that we knew. They announced this at the beginning of January. We are getting Phase 4 on 4K. Big ant outer box, and then inner slip art looks like this. Classic art on that other side of the slip there. This is going to have a 3-disc set. We got a 4K and 2 Blu-rays. The 2 Blu-rays are region locked. You've got HDR on that 4K, newly scanned and restored in 4K from the OCN. 84-minute theatrical version is available on both the UHD and Blu-ray discs. The 89-minute preview version with multiple soundtracks options, that's only on the Blu-ray disc. You got a commentary track for the theatrical version with Matthew Asprey Gear. You've got a brand new documentary by Elijah Drenner featuring interviews with Jeffrey Bass, co-star Michael Murphy, screenwriter Mayo Simon, archivist Sean Savage, and design historian and Saul Bass biographer Pat Kirkham. I guarantee that's going to be great. Elijah's great at what he does. We got a new featurette with the composer Brian Gascon on here and electronic music artist David Vorhaus. We got some deleted shots, raw footage, bunch of fun stuff. Yeah, this is a pretty solid release for a kind of legendary film. A lot of people love this one.
Yeah.
A lot of people excited in the chat. What do you think about Phase 4? I'm sure you've seen this before.
I've not had
had
an earlier edition in a wish list, and then when this was announced, well, it was kind of hinted a few months before that, so I was like, oh, well, I can hold off, and yeah, now I'm gonna get to see it for the first time on this fine edition.
Yeah, this is gonna be a great release. Next up is the Playgirls and the Vampire from 1960. This is a pretty old, unique release in the VS line. This says a troupe of 5 showgirls, along with their manager, are traveling through a remote stretch of countryside when their minibus gets stuck after a rainstorm. Finding refuge at the castle home of the mysterious Count Gabor Carnassi, probably not how you say that. The women make the best of the situation by continuing to practice their burlesque routines. But little do they know that the strange count is harboring a fiendish secret and is intent on subjecting the lovely ladies to his vampiric desires. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from the 35mm fine-grained master, presented in the original Italian language mono soundtrack with new English subs and an English dub mono soundtrack. We got some conversations on here, alternate opening title sequence, different opening title, French title sequence, still gallery. And also with this, they put out one of those Oscar Becher videos about the restoration on their YouTube that I strongly suggest checking out. It's a fun one. He's always hilarious.
Yeah. Very pleased about this one. This is a title that really could have gone to so many. I mean, like, it would have been at home on so many labels. Like,
yeah.
When it was announced, I was like, oh, I would have thought Mondo Macabro would have gotten that, or Severin. But yeah, this it fits Vinegar Syndrome too. So I love the artwork, and this is a movie that I've been wanting to see for a long time. So
I was kind of surprised this was not a VSL, but I understand it does sort of fit on the VS line as well, so makes sense.
I'm glad it comes with the subscription. All these damn sub labels.
Then from Vinegar Syndrome is the one that I'm excited for. Spanish Bloodbath, and this has Night of the Skull, a Jess Franco title.
Yes, it does.
Violent Bloodbath and the Fish with the Eyes of Gold. Night of the Skull. Will, why don't you tell us what you're excited about for that?
Well, I have 2 different DVD editions. Where's the camera? There we go. So this one is a German DVD, and then here's one that Image put out. And This is not a super well-known Franco movie, and
Right.
it's kind of, I don't want to say, it's almost like a conventional film. It's this old dark house, haunted house deal, with some Scooby-Doo level like shenanigans, running, hiding in rooms and guys with the mask and everything, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. And then the other two films I'm not familiar with. Always interested in getting some more Jorge Grau. So this was the announcement, even more than Phase 4, where I was like, "Oh, goody!"
Yeah. So, like I said, we've got Night of the Skull, Violent Bloodbath, and The Fish with the Eyes of Gold. This is going to be a 3-disc region-free Blu-ray set. There are so many interviews here, I couldn't even pack them all onto the announcement page. So I'm going to read those out from the VS site real quick, just so that we have a little record of them here. This is we got an interview with actor Antonio Mayans for Night of the Skull, interview with the Sitges Festival director Angel Sala, and that is on all 3 of the films. We've got a different interview on all 3. Interview with Carlos Grau, son of director Jorge Grau, for Violent Bloodbath. We've got an interview with actor Jose Lefante for Violent Bloodbath. 5 Spanish Giallo recommendations by Angel Sala. There's a lot. They didn't have to put that much in here, considering it's 3 films. And they did. They put a lot of great stuff in here. So stoked on it.
Yeah. Could not be more pleased.
Stan says, "Are there well-known Franco movies?"
I mean, next to Dario Argento, I think Jess Franco's profile has benefited the most from the invention of home video.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that I'm saying Franco is on Argento's level in terms of that particular kind of artistry. Franco's art is a much more syncopated kind of thing, meandering and strange. But I think there will be pretty well-known Franco movies. Of course, the most well-known Franco movies still haven't made the leap. Succubus, Venus and Furs. I'm looking at my Franco collection.
Now that we're working on some releases and all that other fun stuff, I have to really give a caveat here. We do not know anything. I'm not saying that something is going to happen, but one thing that we've seen labels do in the past is when you allude to somebody's work that they've done prior, if you have the rights for something else that you're going to be putting out, generally you'll stick to something like that to say, hey, they're also in this, and get that, get people excited for it. Kino Lorber does that a lot. With Vinegar Syndrome, on their reading of the copy for this says, one of only a handful of traditional gialli directed by Jess Franco, and then in parentheses, Venus and Furs. Now, I'm not saying that they have Venus and Furs, but wouldn't that be just perfect to come from them?
I heard there was an Elements issue, but if somebody's resolved it, I'll be pretty freaking happy. Venus and Furs is good.
We definitely need it. Definitely need it. Anyways, next up, Vinegar Syndrome has announced that they are releasing A Man Called Hero by Andrew Lau. This is from 1999, and this is coming to their VSA line. This is going to be a Region A locked Blu-ray, newly restored from an existing studio master, presented in the original Cantonese language surround soundtrack with newly translated English subs and an English language dub on this. We get a new commentary track on here with Frank Jang, which is awesome. And then Hong Kong Cinema's Action Movie Landscape is placing A Blood Sword in the Road, A Man Called Hero's place in that genre. A video essay by Justin DeClue of the Important Cinema Club, which is pretty cool. I'm glad that he's getting into more of these. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a pretty fun VSA.
Big fan of Frank Jang's work. In fact, I was going to write a Chuck Berry style tribute called My Jangalang.
Wow. That came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Next up, from the VSL line is a really big deal. Vinegar Syndrome is releasing 5-card Stud from 1968. This has Dean Martin and Robert Mitchum, and some people that really knew the art for this kind of called that this was coming out when they put up the banner last month. This is a Region A locked release, newly scanned in 4K from the 35mm OCN. Commentary track with the author and film historian Brian Hannon, film critic Walter Chaw on the films of Henry Hathaway, Lizzie Frank on screenwriter Marguerite Roberts' Legacy, and that's it. But this is a solid VSL release.
Very good movie. I had it on an out of print DVD. So excited to see it restored. Henry Hathaway coming to the Vinegar Syndrome family. That's great.
Not to mention Dean Martin and Robert.
Oh yeah, man. They're so good at this. This movie should come with a cloth to soak up all the alcohol. That is oozing from the pores of its stars.
Yes. Terry says Dean Martin and Vinegar Syndrome are two things that I thought would never be in the same sentence. This is awesome.
I feel like somebody at Vinegar Syndrome was singing "Baby It's Cold Outside" to Dean Martin, the image of Dean Martin while they were restoring this.
Oh man. Next up, from the De Gausser video line, we are getting Herencia Diabolica, and this is from 1993, and billed as the Mexican Child's Play. The trailer for this. Well, first off, have you seen this?
No.
The trailer for this is bonkers. If you have not seen this trailer yet, go watch it. You are probably going to want this immediately. It looks wild. This movie looks really fun. This says, when Tony, a successful businessman, receives a call informing him that he has inherited his late aunt's vast estate, he uproots himself and his wife Annie from New York to Mexico City. While adjusting to and exploring their new Gothic home, Tony and Annie come upon a mysterious clown doll. Although merely unnerved by the doll's strange appearance at first, Annie soon becomes concerned as it begins turning up out of nowhere in every corner of the house. When a series of fatal accidents occur on or near the couple's property, with the doll always at the scene, Tony and Annie come to the terrifying realization that a sinister force has possessed it and begin a race against time to figure out how to bring the carnage to an end.
Yeah. Well, do that on a double feature with Dolly Dearest.
Or like one of like 9 other movies. Bleeding Skull covered it. Ronnie says that trailer's wild. The trailer's really fun. Like, this is one that a lot of times the trailers don't sell me more than the synopsis already did. This one really did. It looks great. Yeah. We got a commentary track with Hugo Laura on this, and then an interview with actor Roberto Guinar, newly translated English subs. Again, De Gausser. And of course, because it's a De Gausser title, you've also got one of those fancy LED VHS releases if you want one of those. Even that picture, that's a wild picture.
I'm sold.
I was about to say, are you into this?
Yeah, the cover art got me.
It seemed like you were especially excited, but whoops, wrong thing. By this, was that accurate?
Yeah, I like clowns.
That makes sense. It is a really creepy top of the slipcover here.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. The clown.
Are you sure?
Yep, I like big clowns. I cannot lie.
You're a clown man? Oh, gosh. Anyways, Vinegar Syndrome also announced some new merch, of course. First up is their Bloody Valentine zippered hoodie. Here's what it looks like. Unfortunately, it's mighty expensive if you are anything over a medium. it jumps up pretty quickly from $45 to $55. They are also doing this Vinegar Syndrome telephone love shirt, which is very akin to like old school adult theater advertising.
Jeez. Why do these companies make these T-shirts that I find amusing and attractive, but I could never wear? Like, I can't. There's nowhere in my life where I can wear that shirt.
Why not, Will?
Well, yeah. Ooh.
Next up, they are doing a Tammy and the T-Rex split fountain variant shirt. And then the big ones for a lot of people that were excited from the earlier release, this crazy Arrow LED sign, which I got to admit, a little more appealing than the other one they did. This is pretty nice. Yeah. And then they're also doing a Vinegar Syndrome logo mini LED desktop sign. This is about 8 inches tall, and it's $50. $50.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not going to get those things, but I like that they exist.
Anyways, time to get into these partner labels. First up is from VHS Hitfest or VH Shitfest, whatever they want to be called this time. Blind Faith from 1988, which I have heard for many people is like a top 10 or 20 SOV.
If you're gonna rank them,
why is that funny, Will?
I don't know. I'm just, I appreciate us. So that's so.
I love that you're finding this hilarious.
Yeah, this looks cool.
So this says Ted Partridge is a mass murdering serial killer going around killing unsuspecting women, brutally torturing them beyond imagination. It is up to Detective William Lindsay and psychologist Richard Stroud to try to stop this killer before more innocent people meet their maker. Supposedly based on a true story of Philadelphia serial killer Gary Heidnik. This has an audio. Go ahead.
When's somebody going to make an SOV movie about like a group of 30-somethings who are trying to find themselves? Yeah. Where's my SOV Big Chill? It's always serial killers ripping up.
I'm sure it exists. SOV is just a format, not a genre.
That's what I'm saying. Where are the SOV dramas? Although we have one that's half a musical that we'll be talking about in a little bit.
This is true.
All right, continue with the synopsis.
Silent Mandible says, "What's SOV? Shot on video." Region free Blu-ray audio commentary with the director Dean Wilson, an interview with Dean Wilson, interview with an actor David Winnick, interview with Michael Hines. We also got a bonus movie on this called My Father's Gun from 1976, and then some other, a bunch of stuff, shorts and stuff that's 44 minutes long, all kinds of stuff on here. This is a big disc.
I like that My Father's Gun is followed up by a bullet from my father.
Yeah. Brendan says, you guys could buy a mini DV and just film yourselves. Kurgan says, I'm in Will's camp. I want Coming Into Your Own as a human SOV representation. Early digital video movies go right along with SOV, no doubt there. And okay. Humboldt says Mumblecore. That's your SOV.
Right. SOV Mumblecore.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Next up is Deaf Crocodile. I've heard of them before. Putting out Bubble Bath, and great looking slipcover as always. This is from 1979. Reminder that you can buy this on the Deaf Crocodile website, as I did today, rather than buying it from Vinegar Syndrome. Yes.
If you buy one animated movie this month, it should be Bubble Bath.
Unless you really want to see the tune, then I still highly recommend it. But
well, you should have already bought the tune.
You should have already bought that.
If you haven't bought the tune, get the tune, and then get Bubble Bath.
We got a Hungarian film here that has a lot of stuff. We got a new commentary with Sam Deegan, of course, new essay by film historian and professor Jennifer Lind Barker. We've got an interview with the Bubble Bath composer. We got a video on the restoration of Bubble Bath, and then 5 rare short films by the director, which are, I mean, decent looking, great length, and a lot of stuff on here. Again, not just because he's in the chat. Deaf Crocodile discs are always so comprehensive.
Yeah.
It makes it such an easy purchase.
Now, listen, if Deaf Crocodile sucked, we'd say it right to Craig's face.
Oh, I definitely would.
These are all amazing, almost to a fault. They put others to shame, honestly.
And it's every month, so it's like, well, great. Here goes another $30.
Yeah.
Craig says we do try to cram as much on the disc as possible, and I mean, mission succeeded here.
I mean, yeah, they'll put anybody on the disc though. That's the one thing that you might ding them on is like they'll just get any old schmuck off the side of the highway to do a visual essay.
So, did not go into this very much, but if you were even only like partially excited about this, man, does this sound amazing. First off, a bunch of people said that this was like best announcement of the day. People were really excited to get this. Lots of great comments on this one, but just the way they describe this. So listen to this. A truly insane and surprisingly sexy mashup of styles from 1920s Art Deco to 1960s psychedelia to late 1970s louche Roxy music decadence. Bubble Bath is incredibly restless and creative. The bohemian love child of Bill Plimpton's off-kilter individualism and Ralph Bakshi's wonderfully warped, rubbery visual style. In other words, it's not quite like any animated film you've ever seen. I mean, that's decent copy.
Yeah, you know what? It was just the right amount of adjectives, and it was good adjectives. Rubbery. I like that. I like rubbery animation.
Did you see what Craig says? He says, speaking of which, we got more work for you guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
The animation is wild, says Craig. Gorgeous cover. Yeah, this is a must for me. And then to little to no fanfare, OCN got another new partner label today, which brings us to, was it 46, 47, something like that. This one is called Memory. Did not know anything about this coming. The note on the page says Memory is an independent artist-driven motion picture company specializing in producing, curating, and distributing innovative, thought-provoking works that push the formal boundaries of their medium. Focused on discovering and mentoring new diverse voices, Memory creates and showcases these new compositions on and offline. And the first release they're going with is about the carpet capital of the world, Dalton, Georgia. This says, we find the unsung creators behind the psychedelic carpets lining casinos, offices, and hotel hallways.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I thought of that documentary, Cocaine Cowboys. And then when I read the description, I was like, oh, there's probably cocaine in here too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, this looks, I don't know. Yeah, okay. A documentary about weird carpet. Psychedelic carpet. Okay.
This is going to be Region A locked. We got a trailer, deleted scenes, Q&A with the directors. There are multiple directors on this. And that's it for the first release from Memory.
Don't forget. I have to admit, Stan, there are a lot of carpet related jokes I want to make at this point, but I'm holding back.
All right.
Yeah, they're in Dallas. Makes the joke. There we go. Good one, Dallas.
Oh man.
Get it started.
All right. Ronnie had a question. Anyone know what Altered Innocence's release schedule will be like now that they've left VS? Still a new one every month. Not sure on that, but I have a feeling we will be hearing something from them pretty soon. They are not going anywhere from everything that I've been told. Next up from the VS website is Enjoy the Ride Records putting out Everything to Entertain You, the story of Video Headquarters. This is a story about a place called Video Headquarters, which was a very well established and long running store in New Hampshire that existed for 32 years, finally closed down in 2015. That was directed by Brantley Palmer, who was an employee, from what I could gather, at this video store. And Brantley is putting out this documentary. There's an audio commentary by Brantley, extended never before seen interviews, radio interview about the film, making of documentary, some featurettes, and then an interview with Justin the Liberty is on this from Vinegar Syndrome. And then out of nowhere, Brantley, the director himself, says, "Thank you to anyone who supports the doc. I'm very honored to be featured on the Disconnected page." Must have been
nice.
following the page before it was announced.
That's great. Yeah, those kinds of stories are always cool. You're glad when such quirky niche stories get preserved like that. I definitely like to see this.
Craig says, "Where in New Hampshire? I grew up there. It is in Keene, New Hampshire." What's going on? Brian says, "Just got back from Argyle. It was great fun. Watched with sensory seats. Nice."
What's that?
I have a feeling it's one of those seats that rumbles with the movie and everything.
Oh, I went to a movie that said it was like sensory abled, and they just turned the lights up.
Interesting.
It was like for people. They explained that some people don't like to be in the dark or something.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a different kind of sensory thing. It pissed me off.
What is that one called? D-Box? I think I just talked about this last week or the week before. I watched Cabin in the Woods in D-Box. That was the only film I've ever been able to do that. And D-Box does the rumble, but also you don't need to shit on every newer movie, Will, just because it's a newer movie.
Cabin in the Woods is a crap movie. D-Box should pass out barf bags for that shit.
Okay. Anyways, I've told the story, so I'll just keep going.
I'm sorry. No, I do value your experience. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. My experiences don't matter. Next up, I couldn't even say it without finishing. Oh man, Connie is putting out "Man on the Brink" from 1981. This is a big deal. A lot of people were excited about this in Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society today. This is a title that people have wanted for quite some time. This is Alex Chung's "Man on the Brink," and it is from 1981, following up Cops and Robbers. On this, we've got an interview with the director, commentary with the director and the AD, and then a Q&A post-screening talk from 2019 that's 72 minutes long, and then multiple 8mm shorts on this. Not a ton of running time, but 4 different shorts. I mean, that's still really cool from the director. And then a booklet with new writing by John Charles with some archival photos. One thing that, not to stir up controversy or anything.
Oh, here we go. Don't do it.
Frank Jang posted that he recorded a commentary for Connie, and it's not on the disc. And they confirmed with him that it's not on the disc. And damn it, I want my Frank Jang. He's great at what he does. It sucks that he recorded something for this, and now it's not on here.
This movie's jangless?
It's it's jangles. That doesn't work. Yeah.
Jangless. Jangless is the word. It's jangless.
Yeah, it sucks, especially when work that you put a lot into. And Frank puts a lot into his commentaries. Like Frank told me just this week, I think he's recording 5 commentaries. I'm like, Frank, you got to slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Next up, Dark Star Pictures is putting out Night Siren from 2022. This one sounds pretty interesting. Don't know much about it. We got a Region A Blu-ray with some trailers and some stills gallery action on this. I will say it's a really interesting sounding story, at least. It says, in a remote mountain village, 2 sisters grow up at the mercy of their abusive mother. A terrible accident happens when the eldest, Sarlota, escapes into the woods, followed by her sister, Tamara. Attila, a Roman woman living on the outskirts of town, is blamed for the girl's disappearance and accused of witchcraft. 20 years later, Sarlota unexpectedly shows up in the village. As she digs into her past, the locals grow suspicious. Only a young and eccentric herbalist, Mira, is willing to befriend her. When the animals in the village start to fall ill, the locals accuse Sarlota of conjuring Attila's spirit.
Oh, that sounds great. No special features, though. I should have called up Frank Jane.
And then just left it on the disc. Or off the disc. Man.
Oh my God. You know what somebody should do is, I bet this would be possible. A collection, maybe it could be like a podcast or a CD or something of unused commentaries.
Tim Lucas has quite a few.
Yeah, and of course Amanda Reyes, that's all those Columbos.
Yeah, God, the Columbo thing still makes me pissed off.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you can call it Discantaries. Box of whatever. Go to the next movie.
Next is one that we have known was coming for quite some time. It was announced on this show, but very excited that we are getting this. From 1973, Canadian International is giving us the 3rd in the trilogy that they started with Dirty Money and Gina. We are getting Rajan Padavani. This is from 1973 and is a 50th anniversary special edition. And this one sounds fantastic. I've got the first 2. Got to go and complete the triptych here for sure.
It's so great that they're putting out so many of his early works. He just came out with a film last year, still making movies now.
Wow.
Yeah. Great. This is a definite.
Yeah, this is a big one for me for sure. We got new interviews with the director on here. We've got an audio commentary with Anthony Kinnick. We've got new audio interviews with multiple cast members. Pretty great. They've got trailers for the other releases. And then booklet featuring a new interview with author Peter Edwards, who did the Encyclopedia of Canadian Organized Crime. I mean, again, solid release. Canadian International, one of easily the most consistent partner labels from OCN. Up there with Deaf Crocodile for me. Up there with Utopia. Up there with a handful of them. This is pretty great.
Yeah.
Next up,
hey, here we go. Oh man, my childhood just hit me.
2008's The Rockafire Explosion is coming from AGFA. And before we get too deep into this, wanted to remind everybody, this is a strictly limited title. There will not be a standard edition for this. So if you want it, you got to get it, and got to get it as soon as possible. This is nightmare fuel for many people that grew up in the Midwest. This is the true story behind one of the strangest pop culture phenomenons of the 80s. Before being mysteriously replaced by Chuck E. Cheese, the Showbiz pizza chain and its animatronic rock band, the Rockafire Explosion, took the U.S. by storm and eventually inspired the game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
This documentary chronicles the rise and fall of Showbiz Pizza, the Rockafire Explosion, and the obsessive fans who have kept the dream alive. I mean,
now what the hell does that mean?
Right. What are they still dreaming about? A defunct pizza chain?
Yeah.
But
I used to go. Did you go to this?
I never did go to this because I was a California dude, and these I don't think made it out to California.
We had one in somewhere in North Carolina. I went 5 or 6 times as a kid, and oh man, the band is crazy. and so I'm glad it's confirmed, because Chuck E. Cheese is like, I didn't know where showbiz. Like, I'm actually going to get this documentary because I want to know what the hell happened. Where did Chuck E. Cheese come from? How did this inspire Five Nights at Freddy's, which it clearly did? And what is this dream that's being kept alive? Pizza was terrible. It was the worst cardboard shit you ever did eat. But the atmosphere was, it had the deep red and black decor that characterized some of the classier Pizza Huts.
Chris Yanko says people have bought complete Rockafire sets and programmed them in their pole barns and stuff.
Whoa. That's cool, man.
Craig says he had never heard of them, and he grew up in New England. And Stan says in California here, we wouldn't let them cross the border. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, this again, wild looking, but I absolutely wanted to check this one out. We've got some vintage promos, news broadcasts, skits, lots of stuff like that. We got a commentary with the filmmakers on this, behind the scenes photo gallery and video trailer, AGFA with another really interesting release, that's for sure.
So they are still a partner label. Everybody calm down.
And of course, the Showbiz Pizza Bear featured in the infamous Dick the Birthday Boy photo from Rich Evans, Red Letter Media, says John Stumpf. Yeah, that's a big one for Red Letter Media for sure.
What's that?
Another YouTube channel that dives into some of these lower budget movies and shits all over them all the time. Yeah,
I am not familiar.
They covered like 3/4 of the Vinegar Syndrome films before Vinegar Syndrome released them.
Oh. Just like randomly, or did they know something?
No, it's just randomly. They just chose like old VHS films and covered them.
Oh, that's cool.
IFC is putting out Simon Killer this month. This is from 2012. This one sounds just amazing. The trailer for this looks really great too. We get a newly recorded audio commentary with the co-writer and director Antonio Campos, with co-writer star Brady Corbett. We get a video conversation with the two of them as well. Interview with Antonio Campos on the aesthetics of Simon Killer. A 2007 short film from the director. Some more interviews. Lots of that stuff. But then on top of all of that, a booklet with new writing by Alexandra Heller Nicholas.
Her first appearance tonight.
And I don't think it's her last, funny enough. Silent Mandible says, I want the jar from TerrorVision despite the reception it got from Red Letter Media. The fact that TerrorVision went through the trouble to put out 2 different versions of the film, a high contrast and low contrast, I think that shows a lot about how they're dedicated to making it look right for everybody.
I just went and looked at they look like the Impractical Jokesters. That's the Red Letter. I just went and looked at it.
Got it.
That doesn't look like it's for me.
Sam is here. What's going on, Sam? Says Simon Killer's decent. Eureka put it out years ago, and it's been out of print for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Chris says, last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, the workers didn't want to be there. The salad on the buffet was brown. The ice machine was out of ice, and one of the workers was listening to rap music with swears. I think Chuck E. Cheese is going right with them. Yeah, most likely. Next up is Art Label putting out Stice's Satyricon. This is a continuation of what Art Label is doing so far, bringing out some really just random off-the-wall things. They say this is jaw-dropping piece of contemporary video art from 2 of the most fiercely unique and prolific artists working today. We got a feature-length commentary with the director and composer, some isolated map interstitials, and 22 different music videos on this. 23, plus a live Stice performance and a live a cappella performance.
It's got a cappella?
Yeah, a cappella. I went and looked up the stills for this. I don't know. It doesn't look that great to me. Looks like a really... I assume that it was very, very intimidating to take this on, but it just does not look like it would be for me. It as a curio piece, it probably is very interesting.
Well, who wrote this copy? Because Satyricon is not the oldest known work of literature by several thousand years. Dissing Gilgamesh over here. I don't know. I mean, the concept looks interesting. Shot on a built-in laptop camera, then chopped up and collaged into gorgeous, hypnotizing oblivion.
Right.
That might be a little too many adjectives for me. But I definitely want to look at this.
Humboldt Horror Honey says, no new title from Melusine. Reminder that it's February, which means there is an adult film sale that's going to be on the Melusine site with 2 new titles up over there next week. And you can check that out then for sure. Yeah, the slip on this is pretty nice. Lots of art, lots of detail. It is art label. So,
all right, Stan's challenging me. First, Stan says that Red Letter Media is actually cool guys, which I'm sure they are. And now he's saying Petronius. May have been.
Sibner says Dissin' Gilgamesh would be the best early 2000s rock album. While you look that up, go into the next one. From the Umbrella Entertainment partner label, which, again, is still fairly new to the OCN game, but releasing some interesting things. They're putting out a double feature of Stranded and Cosmic Psychos.
Yeah.
I really thought this was going to be a will release for sure.
Absolutely. You know, Nick Cave said the Saints invented punk rock, and Nick Cave is usually right.
Yes. We got interviews on here. Some recent interviews too. It looks like a good release again. Double feature.
Oh yeah, Saints are awesome, dude. Everybody should be listening to the Saints. That's the real stuff.
Looks fun. Next up is Totally Wired, 3 films by Nathan Silver. This is coming from Factory 25 this month, with the 3 films being Exit Elena, Soft in the Head, and Stinking Heaven. The copy that they have on all 3 of these films, they sound super similar. Like, I get that you're grouping them together, but they sound like they could almost be the same movies. It's weird. We got a short film on this by Nathan Silver and an interview by Ricky D'Ambrose, and then a booklet essay with essays by Jonathan Lethem, author of The Fortress of Solitude and Motherless Brooklyn, and Rick Alberson and Cindy Silver. Yeah. Factory 25. Pretty good stuff. Have you gotten much from them yet?
Yeah, I got some of their stuff. What's a good one? Didn't they do that one of those music documentaries?
Yes, they've done 1 or 2.
The ones about hold
on. Great television. Right when Will walks away.
The Upsetter. Yeah, I liked that. The Lee Scratch documentary was really good.
They've done a few of them. Yeah, they did the Fake It So Real. That was one that a lot of people loved. The Material Issue documentary. They did Skateboard recently, and then the big one, they just did that Sex and Broadcasting, the WFMU.
Right. I'm definitely gonna check that one out. Yeah. And then they do some of those mumblecore things.
Yeah.
That's cool. That needs to happen.
Next up is Where the Devil Roams from Yellow Veil Pictures. Interesting looking release here. This one says follows a family of traveling sideshow performers as they traverse the harsh conditions of Depression era America on a bloody search for eternal life. This one says it will be a Region A lock disc, Devil in Detail, behind the scene documentary on the making of this, a short film by the Addams Family called Ever, a transcription of prologue poem of Where the Devil Roams, and then an essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yellow Veil, they always do great stuff, and they are somebody that I've been chasing for years to have on the channel. And guess what? I got them. They'll be on in an interview coming out next Monday on the channel. Really, really awesome down to earth dudes, and stoked to finally be able to talk to them. Hope you guys check out their stuff because they're just putting in a lot of hard work, and so much hard work that they're literally just hard to have a conversation with because they are always busy.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't even know that. That's cool, man. Nice surprise.
Yeah. It's a fun one. I'm really hoping to finally nail down all the partner labels, but they also keep adding like 4 more every 4 weeks, and I can't track them all down.
Let's get these memory people on to talk about carpet swatches.
I was gonna seek him out, then I forgot. Next up is Saturn's Core putting out the Zombie Army from 1991. Here is the slipcover. This one says the Pentagon has purchased an abandoned insane asylum as a training ground for the Lethal Ladies, an elite experimental female combat unit. Unfortunately, 2 former psychotic inmates were left behind in the asylum's deserted fallout shelter. One is a shock therapy-obsessed lunatic who fancies himself as a psychiatrist. The other, an unhinged nymphomaniac hell-bent on lethal seduction. Together, they wreak havoc by capturing soldiers and torturing them into mindless zombies by means of electricity. Trapped within the subterranean catacombs of the old asylum, the Lethal Ladies must rally their troops and do battle with the flesh-ripping hordes of the living dead. That's what
I'm talking about. That's what a SOV movie should be. There we go.
This one says it was directed by local high school drama coach Betty Stapleford and features an amateur cast of hundreds firing live ammunition rounds. The Zombie Army is an outrageous eruption of exploding heads, melting faces, eyeball gouging, acid showers, gut-munching gore, and surprising nudity. I love that there's so many adjectives for everything else and then surprising nudity.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, well, it's Betty.
Says direct. Go ahead.
I'm just imagining like the set with the live ammo and Betty being like, okay, you all go over there with your
high school drama teacher directing the live ammo.
And just blow everybody to hell there.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah. Let's see. Directed by a woman and featuring an oddly empowering feminist slant, the Zombie Army would go on to become a 90s rental store and fanzine favorite.
I gotta say something. That's not true. That's not true. It does not have an oddly empowering feminist slant.
Oh man.
Nowhere to be found, my friends.
And we're saying so much because, again, the release here, commentary with Richard Mogg, author of Analog Nightmares, the shot-on-video horror films of 82 to 95, and then Incubators of Death, the Asylum and Horror Cinema, visual essay by you and me of someone's favorite productions.
How about that?
Hey, this was first off a long time ago. I feel like this was another lifetime ago.
That was the first one we did, right?
First visual essay, yes. We had by the time we did this, we had done like 4 or 5 commentaries. But
so I got to tell you guys, I didn't really understand the form, and that will be clear if you see several of the visual essays that we've made. and this one actually turned out to be probably more like a traditional visual essay than anything else we've done, but it's still kind of different.
it is certainly not more traditional than everything else we've done. This one is this one is very interesting, and I think that people will enjoy it. And as I've said before, one of the things that we're really trying to do is kind of be innovative and push some boundaries of visual essays and commentaries, bring things into these that are not in many others. And
that's why there's some surprising nudity.
I mean, in a couple of them, yeah, actually, that's true. Oh, I can't wait until we can announce that one and just talk about everything. Oh, it'll be fun.
Which one is that?
Oh,
that one's got some nudity, all right.
So anyways, this visual essay is really fun. Yes, as we've alluded to, the movie itself, not the greatest SOV film ever. It is pretty fun.
What? It is very fun. And as I alluded to, there is an extended music video number.
Yep.
That is, I think, fantastic. I'm excited about the Richard Mogg commentary.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
This is a fun visual essay that compares a lot of really interesting depictions of the asylum and actually takes the listener on a journey to an asylum yourself. And
you can hear me screaming. Like, what is this shit?
I'm very excited to see what people think of this one, because man, this was really fun to create, and I'm eager to watch this one on the big screen in the living room for sure. This is one that was pretty cinematic in how we made it. So, anyways, check out the Zombie Army. After our visual essay, this also has Analog Outlaw. J.R. Bookwalter himself comes on and discusses the Zombie Army. And then something really cool. We have 3 episodes of the vintage cable access show called The Video Makers on this. It's a TV show hosted by writer and producer John Kalinowski. And I mean, that just sounds fascinating. They have an archival contest video on this, which the contest video is funny as hell. I got to see that while we were working on the essay, and it's funny.
I didn't get to see that.
Nope, that's all behind the scenes stuff. You're in front of the scenes.
Wow. Wow. Mr. Producer.
Sorry, you don't. You didn't have the card. I mean, what can I say? Zombie Army, recommend picking it up. It's a fun release. The movie itself is definitely fun. Visual essays, amazing. 12 out of 10.
Shut up. Saturn's Core were great. I mean, that's such a that release is chock full.
It is, and I really want to reiterate, there are good people in so many of these labels. If I had all the money in the world, I would buy every single release. Ross at Saturn's Core is one of those people that undoubtedly, he would be really fun to be close friends with. Just all the random shit that he loves, the stuff that he's passionate about, the scouring across the country to find people behind these films that he's known forever. And he's one of like 15 people in the world that have a VHS of it. Ross is just tops. He's a great dude. That's it for OCN. Moving on from there. April 19th, Warner Brothers is releasing Doom Patrol Season 4. And if you have not been picking up all 4 as they come out, you can just buy a complete series set. That is releasing same day. It's got, for 4 seasons, they're really touting. We have over 60 minutes of behind-the-scenes featurettes and unaired scenes. 60 minutes over 4 seasons.
They were efficient.
60. Amazing. Next up, Dread Presents and Epic Pictures are releasing Double Blind from 2023 with Pollyanna McIntosh, who was in The Woman. You might know her from. It says when an experimental drug trial goes horribly wrong, even young test subjects, after being kept, 7 young test subjects, after being kept awake for days, must face the terrifying side effect of the drug. If you fall asleep, you die. Trapped in an isolated medical facility, they desperately try to find a way to reverse the side effect of the trial. As one by one, they succumb to sleep and death. Panic quickly takes hold, and they turn on each other. It's left up to Claire, the group's unlikely leader, to keep them together, find a way to escape, and somehow manage to stay awake.
Good luck. I hope they're still in their 20s, man.
I love this. Mikey says 12 out of 10. I bet if the zombie army took place in the Tokyo Dome, it'd get 25 out of 10. And you're right. Absolutely right. Macintosh was on The Walking Dead? Really? Interesting.
Probably, right?
I mean, yeah, The Walking Dead had a lot of characters. Dustin says that you remind him of his grandma when you put those glasses on, Will.
Your grandma reminds me of my grandma.
Film Trash Productions is doing a fundraiser for their new movie Fur, and this one looks really fun. Josh Graves is the guy that runs Film Trash Productions. He's done a bunch of stuff, including The House That Eats Flesh, Late Checkout, Chum, Killcast. A couple of those are coming out from SRS Cinema later this year. This one looks really fun. You can get a limited edition Blu-ray and all that stuff. If you're interested in donating, the link is there. It is one of those people that does just really fun, low-budget stuff.
Well, you know who likes fur? Carpet Cowboys.
Oh, you couldn't hold back. Okay, speaking of not holding back, I don't... I even put this in my post, but I don't normally cover Massacre Video, but I wanted people to make sure that they saw this. Massacre Video is releasing Horrible High Heels, and you can pre-order this now, and it's shipping supposedly in March. This is a grim story of a shoe factory owner's descent into madness as he is driven by perverse desires and begins a horrifying spree of brutally murdering and skinning women to create high heels. This is a notorious Cat 3 film, and it sucks that Massacre got it. I really wish somebody else had it. But people should know about this. It's uncut completely. And then the next one that really wanted people to see is Hunt Her, Kill Her. This one is supposed to be great. Have not seen this, but you can also pre-order this now.
Ryan's like, I normally don't do this, but because these particular movies are so brutal in their treatment of women, I think it's my duty.
Genuinely.
To spread the word.
No, Horrible High Heels is actually pretty good, and I think people would appreciate it. Hunt Her, Kill Her, I've heard good things about, but then it's just regular Massacre stuff after that. Das Koma Brutal Duel, and then Ostermontag, which this one... That one is here. I'll get it off the screen, but that one's supposed to be. What's the best one to show? Okay, that last one. It's supposed to be this big, brutal thing, but it's not even that crazy supposedly. Anyways,
and of course, because we're Americans, we can show those covers. Those the people's guts ripped out.
We can show the guts, but not the outer guts. It's a really funny moment as I posted this and literally typed out, I don't normally cover Massacre Video. I go and post that on Twitter, and Massacre Video retweeted my post that said, I don't normally cover Massacre Video.
Really cool.
Oh, man. Humboldt Horror says, what is that white thing? I believe it is a rat, actually. Yes. Anyways, next up, some release details for Monk Season 5 following everything that we just looked at. Oh boy. March 26th, we will get the 5th season from Kino. You get all 16 of the episodes, and then those are all restored in 4K, and then a whole bunch of random things, even including an audio commentary for Mr. Monk and the Leper that is archival, and then some extra featurettes. And they've done really great for these releases.
I think they missed out on an opportunity in casting for Dune, because to me, you'd want to get Shai Shalhoub.
Oh, Will. And finally, tonight, last announcement, April 22nd in the UK, they are getting a 4K release of The Holdovers, one of the best movies from 2023 that we only got a Blu-ray release in the States. And because of this, I'm willing to bet, especially after Divine wins that Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, we will likely get a 4K here in the States eventually. Yeah, you can pre-order this now from the UK if you are after it. Great movie. Strongly recommend. It's incredible. You haven't seen this one yet, have you?
No.
I didn't think you would care at all. But honestly, it is actually a movie that I think you would like a lot, which doesn't happen all that often.
That's not true. I like so much stuff.
That's not what I heard.
I love, my whole life is devoted to cinema.
Yes.
Speaking of, wait, was that the last announcement?
That was the last announcement. However, next week, just in case you forgot, McCabe and Mrs. Miller in 4K coming from Criterion, Funeral Home from Scream Factory, the Kingdom trilogy from Mubi, that's the Lars von Trier TV Kingdom trilogy, Terminal Man from Scream Factory, Witness for the Prosecution from Kino Lorber, The Big Country from Kino, The Sting of Death from Radiance, Voodoo Passion, that's one that Will's a big fan of, from Full Moon. What was that?
I mean, I have ordered it.
Did you say no and then say you've ordered it?
No, I said yeah.
Okay. I thought you said no. I have ordered it.
And I'll have you know, I love a lot of the movies that are on this list. Continue.
Amazing. The Road to Shame from Kino Lorber, Burnt Offerings, which is incredible, from Kino, Waitress the Musical, that is supposed to be pretty decent, OSS 117 from Kino. Kino releases so much. The Thomas Crown Affair, Candyland, which I want to check this out. Supposedly this is like a borderline trashy film, and it's supposed to be pretty
borderline.
Yes.
Borderline.
Why is it not borderline? Just because they show a butt?
Not just because of that.
Anyways,
it's a butt with is that a syringe or a cross?
It's a syringe.
And then there's a cross, and then there's a truck. There's a truck and short shorts. It's not borderline. It is. And let's celebrate that.
You don't know that you literally teach exploitation.
I want it to be trashy.
Anyways, you have a request. Ronnie says, Will, can you talk about Voodoo Passion?
That's pretty cool. What do you mean, like it's a full moon release, so it's not going to have any.
What do you like about it? What's the movie? Man,
I haven't seen it in a long time. It is dreamy. What happens in it? I don't even remember. So hold on, let me get the DVD that I have of it so I can refresh my memory.
Let's see. Mikey says Massacre Video is something. I do want to get those last two. I've been lucky that I haven't run into trouble with them, but had friends who dealt with some BS. That's Massacre for you.
So Full Moon actually did this. This is really cool. They put out a DVD set of just Franco, and let's see if you can see this on the camera. You put the spines together, and you can.
We don't get enough of that anymore.
Yeah. So Voodoo Passion is the last of the set. Now, I believe you can show this. I very much like this box art. And here, this is why I wanted to get it, because I knew it had a funny description. More coherent than many of Franco's dream state erotic horror films, Voodoo Passion also stars frequent collaborator Green Gambier and features a groovy score by Walter Baumgartner. I love the more coherent line. So yeah, it is. It's very dreamlike. It's a lot of bathing scenes and preparations for rituals and rites, and Jack Taylor's in it. That's it.
We had a question for you from Craig. Did you ever see Sideways, Alexander Payne Sideways with Giamatti?
I saw that shit in the theater. Oh my God. Let me tell you what, Virginia Madsen's not reading that guy's novel. Okay? That would never happen. I don't care how sad she is. I don't care how emotionally vulnerable she is. There is no way that guy is getting her to read his 500-page unpublished crap novel. I will say this. I enjoyed the performance of Randall Tex Cobb, rest in peace. And the part where Giamatti throws a fit about the idea of drinking Merlot. That was funny. But the rest of that shit, oh my God. Oh, those people made me so mad.
Craig says, FYI, Dennis and I will be guesting on what will likely be Ryan's favorite episode of the Incinerator podcast, as we'll be burning Clint Eastwood films. That is coming out on February 15th. And if you've heard Dennis talk on other podcasts, you know he'll have some killer Eastwood stories.
That sounds awesome. Way awesomer than Sideways. You know what? It's stories about, it's just, there's a social strata of people that I do not mesh with. And definitely they don't like me either. And unfortunately, they're all in charge of my university. Wonder Boys, is that the one with Michael Douglas?
Have a good night, Brendan. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
I haven't seen that.
Now that we are done with announcements, normally we don't have too much of a discussion topic because there's so much for us to cover for everything else. Anything else for ongoing projects or stuff getting announced soon that you want to tease about? Any visual essays or commentaries?
I got to talk about something. You know I do. I'm a man of my word.
Usually,
I'm a man of my word. Making sure I'm not forgetting anything. So a couple months ago, I issued a challenge, or I was issued a challenge, and then I issued a challenge in response, which is that I would watch Mandy again as many times as someone showed proof of purchase for the documentary Invaluable from our friends at Synapse Films. And on the one hand, didn't move too many units for Synapse. Sorry, guys. But on the other hand, thank God Almighty, I only had to watch Mandy again once. So I'm here having now watched Mandy 3 times. I've seen Mandy.
The one person that watched it for Will to have to do it is Spaghetti here. Yeah, highlighting Spaghetti.
Definitely highlight Spaghetti. Good guy. Spaghetti's a good guy. So I watched Mandy again, and I will now give my review. That movie is 2 hours long, and the entirety of it is in slow motion. And just couldn't stand it. I do not understand. I mean, every movie is someone's favorite movie, and it seems like Mandy is a lot of people's favorite movie in here, and I respect it. But I've given it a go. I've watched it 3 times. That's 6 hours. I could have watched Showa in that amount of time. So it's like, all right, a movie tells you what it wants to be, and then it either needs to be that, and it's good, or if it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, I don't like it. And I found the slow motion to be really hard to deal with. I mean, the scene where the freaking cult drives by, what's her name, Nick Cage's lady friend, takes like a full minute. It's not necessary. And I know that the score is by this legendary Scandinavian composer, and it was like one of the last things he did before he passed away. So I hate to speak ill of the dead, but I just don't feel like the score matches. And I looked up some of the making of and everything, and found that the movie was directed by George Cosmatos' son, Penis. And I gotta say,
all that lead-in.
I gotta say, it's an apt appellation.
Oh wow.
Penis Cosmatos just didn't work for me. The concept is fine, lumberjack versus cult, but that's a 78-minute movie, man. So it had some interesting imagery, and clearly they were artists, but just the writing wasn't solid to me, and I tried. I went through it. Like I know that you all think I hate everything, and Craig just said he's afraid that I'm going to hate Deaf Crocodile movies and all this. I don't hate everything that's come out in the last 25 years. I was just saying the other day, you know what one of my favorite Christmas movies is? Four Christmases, with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. I think that movie is great. I'm not a snob. I like I don't know. I like all kinds of stuff. But I don't like Mandy.
Poke says you got to drop acid before you watch it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Last time I dropped acid, I made an MTV Cribs video of the apartment I was living in at the time. It was like 1999, maybe. And I'm glad that video disappeared. I hope it never shows back up. It was pretty funny, though. I remember.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I watched Mandy, and I'm not going to do it again. I'll tell you that what. I did my time. What did you want to talk about?
The fourth time's the charm.
Oh, fucking what did you want to talk about? Special features?
Is there anything, not that we can say any titles, but anything that we've been working on that we, want to talk about to, hype up some of these visual essays or commentaries, because there's a lot about to get announced.
I tell you what, man, some of these things have been so hard to complete. I'm like, am I working on a Synapse release right now? It's going to get delayed. We're not working on a Synapse release right now. But I would do a commentary on Mandy. I don't think Penis would care for it.
Spaghetti says, what do I have to do for a Sideways rewatch or an invested buy for an entire season of football?
I'll watch Sideways again before I watch a football game. That's for sure. I just don't get, like, what is entertaining about watching people try to hurt each other? At least wrestling is pretend. I don't really I just continue the football. But yeah, Sideways I didn't care for. I care for a lot of movies from the last 25 years, though. I liked. I'm sure I liked something. Oh, I liked It Follows. That was good. I liked most of the Mad Max 4. I liked that. We're gonna go what movies from the last
Through
25?
every movie over the last 25 years that you liked?
Well, it's been hard. I haven't gotten to watch a lot of movies from the past 25 years because of my children. So a lot of what I watched is kids movies and stuff. I have liked a lot of movies that haven't been popular. Like I liked The Great and Powerful Oz, the Sam Raimi movie. I thought that was actually really good.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You didn't like it?
I mean, it's not great.
No.
Hoax wants to know if you like the film Gummo.
Did I see that? Is that the one that Werner Herzog is in?
The spaghetti bathtub.
Yeah, that was cool. So now everybody's saying I am characters from Alexander Payne movies. Is that right? None of them are saying I'm George Clooney.
Well, thank you, Mary. That's incredibly kind of you.
So yeah, at least everybody's
Incredibly
accusing me. I hope I'm not about Schmidt. That's the one.
Mary said happy birthday and gave $50. That's incredible.
Oh, that's cool. That's very nice. Yeah, producing these special features has been crazy because we had. I think it's safe to say we had a backlog of overlapping deadlines that just did not work. so that necessitated some finessing, but things are hopefully going to calm down after the next couple of days. Do I like Guy Madden? Yeah. Oh, I think what's the saddest music in the world? I love that movie. Yeah, for sure. Oh God, Stan, come on, man. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you why I saw Downsizing. Because I was working on an essay about Tod Browning's The Devil Doll, which was an adaptation of Burn Witch Burn by the great sci-fi writer Abraham Merritt. And I tell you, man, somebody on the Downsizing team, I'm not saying it was Alexander Payne, I'm not saying it was any particular writer, but somebody ripped that shit off. The Devil Doll. That whole movie is from a subplot of The Devil Doll, and I didn't like it. It just didn't go anywhere for me. I don't know. It was beautifully shot.
Jake wants to know, have you guys peeped the trailer for Harmony Korine's upcoming movie? It's something.
I liked. I actually did like that Spring Breakers movie. I thought that was actually pretty good.
Have you heard about the rollout for this new one, though? It's premiering at a strip club or something.
Yeah. So it can be authentic or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Hollywood.
Chris is going all in to try to get you to be grumpy. He says, I need to have you on to do a watch along of Mandy.
Well, it'll be almost as long as this. But what kind of strip club though? I mean, like, is it going to be like one of those Crystal and Champagne Room strip clubs, or is it going to be like this? Let me tell you,
it's Harmony. There's no way that it's like that.
Well, I'll tell you, man, where they should do it. There used to be this strip club up in Bluefield, and it was behind the Long John Silver's. Lady Godiva's. It was like a double wide trailer. So, the stripper pole's actually holding up the damn roof, and it's behind the Long John, so the stench. Oh man. Yeah, they should have it at Lady Godiva's. I wonder if that place is still there.
It's a good question. Any thoughts on the Coen brothers news? Did you read about that? They're reuniting for a bloody horror movie, supposedly.
Oh, okay. Well, Right's right, and never the twain shall meet.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with the Coen brothers.
Coen brothers are amazing. Yeah.
So we can't really say anything except to say that we hope we have some really big news that we can share soon. Like there's a lot of like smaller projects going on, and then there's some really freaking big projects. And until they happen, I'm like on the edge of a heart attack. So stay tuned, faithful listeners.
It's been an odd time because the whole public announcement of someone's favorite happened in September, and since that moment we've been working on at least one thing, literally since before it was announced publicly. It's been crazy, and literally none of this, we've not really had to seek out anything yet. It's mostly people asking us if we'd be interested, checking out what we've done, and then saying, yeah, let's do something. And so far it's been a lot of really cool projects, and not really anything that I've not been stoked to work on. And the people that we've been doing stuff with is great. Like they've already been announced and they'll be shipping soon. TerraVision releases of Game of Killers. We got Sean from Food for Thought on there, and he wrote a brilliant visual essay that is just an incredible piece on Barry Chan, which is somebody that is very undersung in the whole martial art genre, that's still working to bring education and just a community aspect to it. And it's an incredible educational piece on somebody that has never gotten any love like that. But what's really funny, we wrote that visual essay not knowing that he's only ever been called Barry Chan in the States. He didn't even know that he was called Barry Chan here. He had no idea.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's cool. Yeah, so I don't know. We've been able to announce 3 or 4 things so far. We've got the Swiss Conspiracy coming out this month, and Spider Labyrinth has come out, and now the Zombie Army. And
Swiss Conspiracy shipping now, by the way. Orbit got that in today. Some other places have got that in. So yeah, check out that one.
That's great. And it's been really cool to bring in some people from the academic world, people from journalism, critics, independent critics, and just kind of get all these voices jumbled together. Yeah, I'm hopeful for a productive year. We'll see. There are definitely some stories that I want to tell, but I can't until we can say what it's about. So there are some good stories that we just can't say yet, with surprising nudity.
Stan wants to know what is the retail on Zombie Army, and it is $27.99 for the slipless, and $30.49 with the slip, unless you are a subscriber.
I feel like we need a Danzig parody song called "Slipless." Like slipless.
I kind of wish I had ended the broadcast as you did that last note. Did not work out. Any other questions before we call it a night? Any other anecdotes you wanted to bring up there, Will?
Oh, I'm sure I got a few. No, I think this has been a nice shambling 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's actually pretty short for us, right?
It's pretty brief for us. That's why I feel like we're trying to buy time a little bit.
You know why? Because we've been drinking water all night. So I haven't gone off on some meandering tale. That's okay. Health is important. I want to beat this thing.
Oh gosh. Chris says, when will we get another battle of Dodson and Long? The whole In defense of the genre thing, it's kind of had to be put on hold considering how busy everything has gotten.
Yeah, I'd like to do like what do you call those things where all the wrestlers are in the ring at the same time?
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Royal Rumble, bring in Ront and somebody else. Who was that guy from Chasing Labels?
Steven.
Steven, yeah.
I think LeRose just blowing everything that he can into some of those action titles and then getting nothing at the end of it.
Oh man, he's the best, dude. I love that guy. Yeah, Jeremy Long, man. You know, he's good people.
I love that everybody's waiting for the punchline.
Just like one of his jokes.
Oh, on that note, we will call it a night. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for watching. It's been a really incredible time for us and for physical media, and can't wait to do it again. So from all of us to you, let's call it a night. Have a good one. Thanks, Will.
Bye.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.